Hello everyone, Amirash here, and today we'll be starting with a new chapter of Class 11 Biology Animal Kingdom, which is a very important topic from NEET's perspective. At least 4 questions can be expected in NEET 2025 and 26 from Animal Kingdom, just like this year in NEET 2024. 4 questions were asked, which were completely NCERT based and super easy. The problem with Animal Kingdom that students face is memorization. And Animal Kingdom का सबसे difficult topic which students find is examples. Examples of various phyla that is very difficult to remember, but I'll ensure that you remember everything, right? So today we'll be doing phylum Porifera and Coelenterata. I'll explain each and every line of NCERT in detail, and after watching this video, just go through the NCERT once, you'll recall every single point, that's my guarantee. Starting with Porifera. Porifera is the first phylum and the easiest. Every phylum, guys, before starting, let me just tell it to you. Every phylum has two major things: unique characters and general characteristics. General characteristics means whether they're marine, terrestrial, whether they have the symmetry, whether they have the segmentation, or the general properties and characteristics of those animals. Okay. And the second thing is unique features. As I told you, unique features are specific to that particular phyla of that particular animal. So shall we get started with Porifera, everyone? Porifera. Try to think of this word. What comes to your mind? Sponges. They are nothing but sponges. How many of you have seen the ball, smiley ball of sponge? Have you seen that? So they are called as sponges. We'll do it side by side. First, there are 9 general characteristics that I'll talk about, and then water canal system, which is the unique character of Porifera that I'll talk about. And I'll use both of Hindi and English so that you guys understand very nicely. First, I'll try to explain in English, and then I'll repeat in Hindi for the ones who find it difficult to understand in English. Okay. Starting with the first, marine. First thing to remember that Porifera, these animals are marine, means they live under water. Is this clear? Now, marine basically means oceans or seas. It means living under salty water, living under seas. But there is an exception called as spongilla. Spongilla lives in fresh water. Freshwater sources can be lakes, ponds, rivers, etc. What I understood by the first term that they are marine, Porifera, this phylum, the animals are marine, but Spongilla is freshwater. So a statement based on assertion reasoning question can be asked in NEET related to this. First point done. Very good. Second point says asymmetric and mostly asymmetric. It means Porifera में कोई भी symmetry नहीं मिलेगी. Let's say I have a sponge, something like this. Let's say this is my sponge. So if I divide it through any vertical plane, मतलब इसको अगर मैंने किसी भी plane से divide करने की कोशिश की, तो left and right halves will be different. There is no symmetry. Symmetry you've read, right? Symmetry. Is this symmetrical? This marker is symmetrical from one side. Human beings are symmetrical from one plane. Cut. If I cut myself with this plane, see, इस plane से cut कर रहा हूँ. Left side, right side will be the same, symmetrical, right? Whereas if I cut myself from this side, I'm asymmetrical. So only one plane wala is known as bilateral symmetry. Any plane that is radial symmetry. We'll talk about this once we move from phyla to phyla. Right now, it's important to remember Porifera are asymmetrical, but mostly exceptions are there. यहाँ से actually assertion reasoning आ सकता है next year. Mostly is written, not all. People think all are asymmetric. Third point is they're primitive. NCERT says कि मेरे Porifera primitive है. Primitive मतलब ancient, बहुत पुराने ज़माने का है Porifera. Old, ancient. They're very old. Very important point. Fourth, cellular level of organization. Level of organization is body is composed of cells, tissues, organ or organ system. Like if I talk about the human body, we are composed of an entire organ system. Organ system level of organization that we have different organs for different activities. Is it clear? For respiration, I have my lungs. For circulation, I have the heart. For excretion, kidneys, etc. But in Porifera, cellular level of organization is there. मतलब individual cells role perform करती हैं यहाँ पर. These are my cells, and these cells are performing the role. Am I clear? Very good. Fifth, hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite means they are bisexual. अब bisexual का मतलब ये होता है कि एक ही Porifera, एक ही animal में दोनों male as well as female parts present होंगे. Like if I talk about human being, either you can be a male or a female. Either you can have the male reproductive system or female, but Porifera have both in one single organism. That is bisexual or hermaphrodite. So sexual dimorphism is absent. Assertion. Sexual dimorphism means difference in the sexes. Male different, female different. Here there is no difference. Porifera, single point. Clear? Sixth, reproduction. If I talk about how do they reproduce, very important point to remember. Asexually. Asexually means कि fragmentation is going to happen. That a porifera may divide into small fragments, and small fragments will give rise to the big porifera again. So first is fragmentation, asexual reproduction, में, and sexual reproduction. If I talk about, that is gamete formation. Gametes are formed, like in case of human sperms and ovum, they are the gametes, right? And when they fuse to form the zygote, in this way your fertilization all happens. We'll read that in class 12, human reproduction, okay? So don't buy. Reproduction, asexual fragmentation, the fragments में divide करके फिर नए porifera बन जाएंगे. And sexual reproduction, gamete formation, gametes will fuse together to form the zygote, and further development will lead to the formation of your porifera. सेवेंथ फर्टिलाइजेशन. फर्टिलाइजेशन मतलब फ्यूजन ऑफ द गेमीट्स, की जब गेमीट्स फ्यूज करेंगे जाइगोट बनेगा, जाइगोट से ऑर्गेनिज्म बनेगा. यहाँ पर तो सेल्स ही हैं, सेल्स ही फॉर्म करेंगे फंक्शन. फर्टिलाइजेशन इज इंटरनल, मींस इनसाइड द बॉडी ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स वो होगा, इनसाइड द बॉडी. एक्सटर्नल फर्टिलाइजेशन मींस आउटसाइड. लाइक इफ यू सीन फ्रॉग्स, फ्रॉग्स हैव एक्सटर्नल फर्टिलाइजेशन, मतलब आउटसाइड द बॉडी जो हमारे गेमीट्स है वो फ्यूज करेंगे. मतलब eighth, development. Development is indirect. Development basically means you're comparing the adult organism as well as the baby organism or the larva. Indirect development basically means कि जो हमारा बच्चा porifera है, the larva or the baby, that is very different. That looks different from the adult. Like if I talk about frog, for that matter, for that instance, frog ka baby is tadpole. Is tadpole similar to frog or different from frog? Completely different. So frog will have indirect development. Human beings, if I talk about the baby and we look similar, right? पता चले कि baby का face ही अलग है. Baby is like my tadpole and my adult is very different. Of course not, right? They're similar. So indirect development porifera. जो baby sponge है, that will look different. Adult sponge will look different. Very good. Examples if I talk about, see, animal kingdom का अगर जो ब्रह्मास्त्र है, ऐसे ना कि उसका जो अस्त्र है, that is examples. Example से ही question आता है. One question is fixed, in which they'll ask you to match your common names versus the zoological names. So it's very important to learn them. Let's learn them together. First example, Sicon. Sicon is the first example. Easy, Skyfa. Sicon, Skyfa. Sky, Sai. Easy. This is very easy. Second, Spongula. See, Spongula was the exception of marine wala thing. So it is a freshwater sponge. Spongula is a freshwater sponge. Euspongia. Euspongia is the bath sponge. Bath sponge. Three examples are there of porifera which you need to learn. Sicon, Skyfa. Spongula, freshwater sponge. Euspongia, bathe sponge. These are the three examples. You can see Euspongia. I've drawn the diagram. Can you see these small pores? Right now we'll talk about water canal system. So I'll tell you. There are small pores. Can you see them? These are the pores which makes it the sponge. It's the main character of it. Okay guys, now let's study about the water canal system or water transport system of porifera of the sponges, which is the most important thing. So water canal system is a very unique feature. Abhi, when we'll talk about other phyla, we'll come to that, like Coelenterata में metagenesis, we'll talk about Ctenophora bioluminescence, Platyhelminthes flat body, Ashkelminthes muscular pharynx, where हमारा segmentation start हो जाता है and all of that. So right now our focus should be on water canal system, what it does, understand step by step. This is not to be crammed. Let's say this is my porifera. So आप देख सकते हो उसकी बॉडी पर minute pores हैं, small pores हैं. ये क्या है हमारे minute pores. These minute pores are called as ostia. They are called as what? Ostia. यहाँ से जो water surrounding में है, it will enter their body. It's very obvious कि अगर वो marine है या फिर fresh water है, they are inside the water, so they are surrounded by water. This is my water. So due to these small pores, ostia, water enters into the body of porifera. First step क्या बोला मैंने कि water enter करे. Water is going to enter the body of porifera. अब water enter करेगा तो कहीं जाएगा, right? उनकी body के अंदर जाएगा. So that body, the inner part of the body, that is called as spongocoel. Spongocoel. Spongocoel is the body cavity. It's the body cavity or the space inside body. Like we have coelom, right? Like they don't have coelom, so they have spongiocele. And water comes out. One thing is that water is going inside the body, then into the spongiocele, and then it will come out of the body. It will come out. So it will come out through osculum. I'm trying to say कि minute pores because of which water अंदर आ रहा है, that those minute pores are ostia. Then water is going into the spongiocele and then coming out through osculum. Like our food goes into the mouth, then enters into the alimentary canal, then gets adjusted from the anus. Okay. So in the same way, imagine कि mouth of the human beings is ostia of porifera. Then हमारा जो alimentary canal is the esophagus, then you have the stomach, then you have the small intestine, large intestine. That is spongiocele, the cavity, the body cavity, because they lack the coelom. And after that, like through anus, it comes out, the feces basically. That is osculum in case of sponges. Is that clear? And जो spongiocele को line करेंगे, cover करेंगे, like we have different cells, even we have different cells, right, lining different epithelial tissue, connective tissue. So they have choanocytes. Choanocytes are also called as collar cells, which line the spongiocele. These choanocytes line the spongiocele or cover the spongiocele. That is it. Water canal system is over. Three uses of water canal system are very important. We'll talk about those three uses. But before that, two important facts to remember. That skeleton of porifera are composed of spicules or spongial fibers. And बहुत easy भी है कि sponges हैं तो skeleton is composed of spongial fibers. This is easy, right? And digestion is intracellular. Intracellular means inside the cell the digestion is going to take place, and you'll have to understand this. Now talking about the features of it. Water canal system helps in number one, food gathering. Keep on making the notes so that आपके लिए अच्छा होगा. फूड गैदरिंग मीन्स कि फूड जो वाटर में मिक्स्ड होगा या वाटर में प्रेजेंट होगा वो उनकी बॉडी में आएगा थ्रू दिस. सो फूड गैदरिंग. गैसियस एक्सचेंज. अब ऑफ कोर्स O2 इज प्रेजेंट इन द वाटर डिसॉल्व फॉर्म में, तो O2 को हम इनसाइड लेंगे, राइट, पोरिफेरा, देन CO2 बाहर छोड़ेंगे, ऑल ऑफ दैट गैसियस एक्सचेंज में. रिमूवल ऑफ वेस्ट. दिस इज वेरी इजी गाइस. What should I explain? Animal kingdom, this is a very big problem. There are a lot of theoretical parts. Food gathering, then gaseous exchange, removal of waste. The waste through their body will enter into water. That's it. With this, porifera ends. Now let's move to Coelenterata. Now let's start with the second phylum, which is phylum Coelenterata, also called as phylum Cnidaria. So it's very interesting and one of the most important phyla for you to remember. Let's cover 6 points first and then we'll cover the remaining points. First point is aquatic again. Just like porifera, these are also aquatic. Mostly marine. Marine means seas or oceans or in salty water, and fresh water mein nahi rahenge. Okay. Now, one new thing to remember, they can be sessile or free swimming. NCERT says Cnidarians are either sessile or free swimming. Sessile means कि कोई भी animal बस ऐसे ही पड़ा है. Let's say I am a sessile animal, I'm like this. I can't move. I'm just there. Free swimming is like I'm swimming. I can move. Okay, I can move. Is the difference clear? Sessile is stable, located at one place. Says free swimming, they can swim. Third, radial symmetry. Radial symmetry means Coelenterata को आप किसी भी angle से या half से cut करोगे, they'll give you two equal parts. Is this clear? Like porifera में there was no symmetry. Coelenterata में symmetry is present. Is it clear? Good. Radial symmetry, remember that. Now, the word Cnidaria, जो हम Coelenterata को बोलते हैं, it is derived from cnidoblasts or cnidocysts. क्या बोला मैंने? Cnidaria derive हुआ है cnidoblasts या cnidocysts से. What are these cnidoblasts? ये होता है हमारे stinging capsules and we also call them nematocysts. Stinging capsules, sting करना, bite करना, you know that. Stinging capsules. And they are present on the tentacles, very important MCQ. This can be an MCQ. underline it in your NCRT. Please keep the NCRT open so that you keep on underlining. It's a very important MCQ. On the tentacles, it will be present. Those stinging capsules. Okay? That is why they're called cnidoblasts and cnidocytes. Now, what are the functions of these stinging capsules? First function is anchorage. Anchorage means just like roots provide the anchorage to the trees की support, ऐसे रखना उनको खड़े रखना. That is anchorage, so that they don't fall down. Balancing, ठीक है, balance. Anchorage can be balanced. So if Coelenterata wants to just be present over here nicely, they need the anchorage. Supporting the Coelenterata, ठीक है, and capture of prey means predation in one way I can say. Defense, have I skipped? There was one defense also, I think. Sorry, it's not support, it's defense. I thought only it should be defense. Yeah. Defense means protecting them from their predators. See, आप logically सोच के देखो कि अगर stinging capsules लिखा है तो क्या हो सकता है? तो anchorage provide करेगा, support चाहिए मुझे. Again, defense it will provide if the predators are coming closer. Then defense, yeah, capture of prey to actually kill the prey. ठीक है? Next, tissue level of organization is seen. Tissue level means cells combine together to perform a specific function in the form of tissues. So this tissue level of organization is shown by them. And last, diploblastic. Diploblastic means they have two germ layers. They have ectoderm as well as endoderm. And बीच में mesoglea is there. We'll talk about that later, and you must be aware of it. Ectoderm and endoderm are present. Let's see the next point. The next point says that phylum Coelenterata, they have central gastrovascular cavity. कि body के center में a cavity is present which is gastrovascular, मतलब related to digestive system as well as related to the circulatory system. So that central gastrovascular cavity has a single opening. कि मेरी cavity है, एक ही opening है. That opening is called as mouth, and this mouth lies on the hypostome. कि let's say this is hypostome. Let's assume this is hypostome. इसके ऊपर there is a mouth जो open कर रहा है into the central gastrovascular cavity. Okay. Digestion, if I talk about, it can be intracellular, extracellular. Digestion can be either inside the body or outside the body, both ways. Next, there are some coelentrates, guys, like corals. Corals. Have you seen corals? They're very interesting. Search करना, okay? I might attach the image of corals over here. They have a skeleton composed of calcium carbonate. तो calcium carbonate का भी skeleton है उनके पास. That is corals. Remember that. Learn करो अभी. CaCO3 का skeleton है corals के पास. Now the most important thing, जहाँ से question की probability is very high in your coaching mock tests. That is the two body forms exhibited by Coelenterata. Coelenterata के दो body forms होते हैं जिसमें वो exist कर सकता है. First body form is called as polyp. Can you see this? Polyp. And the second body form is medusa. Repeat, polyp, medusa. Polyp is sessile and cylindrical. ऐसा दिखता है देखो. Polyp is cylindrical in shape and sessile रहता है, मतलब they are fixed at one place. Example, Hydra and Adamsia. Adamsia is sea anemone. Have you seen sea anemone? It's like, let's say, I'll tell you in class 12th in organisms and populations, I'll teach you over there, don't worry. But it's very interesting. Sea anemone and clownfish, commensalism. The droppers can relate me. And medusa is umbrella shaped and free swimming. Example is Aurelia, jellyfish. Have you seen jellyfish ka shape? Something like umbrella kind of a shape. Jellyfish like this. This is medusa. So either the coelentrates can exist in polyp form, यानी या तो उनका cylinder form होगा या फिर उनका ये वाला form होगा, jellyfish kind of form. Now, a very important thing to remember, that is metagenesis. This is a very important process. What is metagenesis? Metagenesis is alternation of generation. अभी हमने बात की that some of the coelentrates show polyp form, some of them show medusa form. But there are some coelentrates which are capable of showing both the forms. Both the forms can be exhibited. यानी कि polyp भी medusa भी. And the example of that is obelia. Obelia is one such animal which can show both the forms. कैसे होगा? अच्छे से देखो. Polyp जो है वो medusa में convert हो जाएगा asexually. Fragmentation या फिर whichever form, whichever fraction they are forming. Asexually, polyp will get converted into medusa. Medusa, yeah. And medusa will get converted into polyp sexually, यानी involving the gamete formation. तो अबेलिया में क्या हो रहा है? कुछ टाइम के लिए पॉलिप फॉर्म दिख रहा है हमें, कुछ टाइम के लिए मेड्यूसा फॉर्म. whereas ऑरेलिया की बात करूं, ओनली मेड्यूसा. हाइड्रा एडाम्शिया ओनली पॉलिप. So two forms are exhibited, polyp medusa, two different forms. Sometimes metagenesis happens. Metagenesis means alternation generation. Sometimes this, sometimes that, sometimes this. So sometimes polyp, sometimes medusa. Generation is getting altered. Like human beings are having fixed shape, right? Sometimes imagine human beings are like, let's say, triangle in shape. Sometimes triangle human being, sometimes this human being, sometimes triangle. Similarly, polyp, sometimes cylindrical, sometimes this umbrella shape. This is happening. I hope metagenesis is clear because I've tried to explain in the best possible way. Now, the last thing which is left is the examples. Let's do the examples. And I learned it very nicely. So I want you guys to learn all the examples. First example is Physalia. Repeat with me, Physalia. Now Physalia को learn कर सकते हो physics से. So physics is a subject which you don't like, तो आप उससे war करोगे. That's why it is Portuguese man of war. Physalia is what? Portuguese man of war. First example learn physics you don't like, so you will have the war with it. And खुद तो war करोगे नहीं because you are a NEET aspirant, so you will call a Portuguese man to do the war. ठीक है? Second is Adamsia. Adamsia भी देखा Medusa form, sea animal. ठीक है? Adamsia is sea animal. Very easy to remember. Third is Peninsula. Now, in Peninsula, the name is only telling you most of the things. Peninsula, pen, pen, arana pen. So it is sea pen. This you can learn. Peninsula has pen, so sea pen. So fourth, Gorgonia. Gorgonia, sea fan. Sea fan. Now, imagine there's a fan in front of you. So what fan will do? Gor, gor. This kind of sound fan creates. Gorgonia, sea fan. Fifth, Meandrina. Now this trick I got to know on YouTube by some channels. I like that trick, so that's why I'm telling you. Meandrina, like brain mandrata रहता है, right? Mandrana एक जगह से दूसरे जगह. That is the function of brain. So meandrina is brain coral. अभी coral also we saw calcium carbonate का skeleton. These are the five examples and very important from NEET perspective. These five examples, so please learn them. I would like to recapitulate for you. Physalia, Portuguese man of war. Adamsia, sea anemone. Peninsula, sea pen. Gorgonia, sea fan. Meandrina, brain coral. Write it down 5 times in one notebook, then only you can expect something good out of it. And in the next class, we'll be doing Tinophora, Platyhelminthes, Ashkelminthes. Please rate the class in the comment section how it was and some improvements if you would like to suggest. I have ordered the digital pen, okay? Digital pen I'll be getting in a few days, and after that the classes will be on PPT so that I can cover more things. I can show you very nice images. I can start with chemistry. This was just a demo video so that you get acquainted by my teaching style. And let me know if you want me to use more of Hindi or more of English so that I come out of this dilemma. Okay, I'm actually in a dilemma related to the language. So do let me know and all the best. I hope you understood Animal Kingdom and we'll read NCRT in the next class as well. Thank you.